In one of India's worst rail tragedies in years, perhaps decades, 275 people were killed and over 1,000 injured in Odisha on Friday. The mishap involved 3 trains and a collision that was beyond anyone's imagination. The Coromandel Shalimar Express, which was heading to Chennai, derailed and hit a goods train, resulting in multiple coaches slipping over. The Bengaluru-Howrah Superfast Express then collided with the derailed coaches. Both these trains were moving at a very high speed when the collisions occurred. The tragedy unfolded around 7 p.m. on Friday near the Bahanaga Bazaar station in Balasore in Odisha. That's 250 kilometers from Kolkata and 170 kilometers from state capital Bhubaneswar. The derailment of 10 to 12 coaches of the Shalimar-Chennai Coromandel Express caused them to fall onto the opposite track. That's when the Bengaluru-Howrah Superfast Express collided with the derailed coaches, leading to the derailment of 3 to 4 of its own coaches. And that wasn't the end of it. A goods train was also involved in the crash. Hundreds of people were brutally killed in minutes. Entire families were wiped out. Lifeless bodies and severed limbs lying on top of each other were strewn all over the railway tracks. The scenes of death and destruction, victims howling in pain, many desperately looking for their loved ones, were horrifying and heart-rending. Scores of lives were changed forever. Now, the Railway Ministry says signalling interference is what caused the accident. The Railway Board has recommended that the probe be handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation. They say the possibility of sabotage cannot be ruled out. Many questions are being asked and need to be asked. One of them is this: why was Kavach not installed on the railway tracks where the multi-train collision occurred? Kavach is an indigenously developed automatic train protection system designed to prevent train collisions and achieve safety in train operations across the Indian Railways. It is a state-of-the-art anti-collision mechanism that's meant to provide protection by preventing trains from passing the signal at red, which marks danger, and thereby avoid collision. It activates the train's braking system automatically if the driver fails to control the train as per speed restrictions. It prevents collision between 2 locomotives equipped with functional Kavach systems. The system also relays SOS messages during emergency situations and provides for centralized live monitoring of train movements through the network monitor system. Kavach is one of the cheapest technologies where the probability of error is 1 in 10,000 years. That's what experts say. Some railways officials claim that the Kavach system could not have prevented this particular mishap. The most important question that we really need to ask is this: just who is responsible for this enormous human tragedy? Will anyone be held accountable? Will any heads roll? Or will it be business as usual once the story of this tragedy disappears from the news cycle? When will Indian Railways become a truly safe mode of transport for millions of Indians who depend on them? You know, there have been train accidents in India in the past, but this is by far the worst in years, possibly decades. 275 people have officially been killed. There are fears the death toll may rise further. Over 1,000 people have been injured, some of them quite grievously. Now, one train derails, its coaches fall onto the parallel track, and then you have another train coming in and colliding with those derailed coaches. In the process, some of its own coaches flip over, and then there is a third train, a goods train, which collides with these derailed coaches. How did this happen? We seem to have absolutely no explanation. All we are told is there might have been signaling interference. What does that mean? Please explain this to the average viewer.
In India, our country, whenever train accident or derailment happen, the Commissioner of Railway Safety conduct the inquiry under section 114 of the Indian Railway Act. That inquiry cover main 5-6 facts. One is the what is the reason behind the accident, whether there was negligence of the railway authority, railway officials, and who were responsible for that, and in future what preventive measures should be taken by learning from this accident. So, on the Commission of Railway Safety website, I want to put up 6-7 important points. It is clearly mentioned that from year 2013 to 2020, total 28 reports have been submitted by Commission of Railway Safety to the Ministry of Railway with 307 recommendations. However, the website it is clearly mentioned that no action taken report received from Railway Ministry. This is apathy, callousness toward the safety and life of the passengers. Till years 7-8 years, why Railway Ministry not submitting action taken report for safety standard, which demanded by the Commission of Railway Safety itself. Second, the on website it is written that during the year 2018, 19 and 20, in India, 120 train accidents happened, out of which 76 train accidents, the railway staff held responsible. Their error is reason for the accidents. So, what action has been taken by the railway ministry? Railway minister cried. I have seen crying him on the camera. However, crying is not enough. You are the minister. You are the vicarious liable for the each death of the innocent people. What action you have taken? Put all 307 recommendations on the railway website. What action you have taken? Put all Commission of Railway Safety's inquiry report in last 10 years on the railway website. Because I have obtained one inquiry report as a citizen, I am common man, to understand. This is the inquiry report of one passenger train derailed in Rajasthan on 19 November 2016. So it is clearly mentioned because when incidents happen, we all speak. After 4 days, we all forget. Even opposition speak this time. Why opposition not taking up cognizance? Why not studying this report? It is available on website, public domain. This report of Rajasthan train derailment clearly says that the railway fish plate, the joint railway track, was fitted by only 3 bolts against the prescribed 6 bolt standard. Means they put only 3 bolts instead of 6. Further deficiency in the building failure, everything is mentioned in the report. In report clearly mentioned that these incidents could have been averted if the prescribed maintenance guidelines were followed by the railway officers. The responsibility also fixed by the Commission of Railway Safety that the railway officers, the negligence is mentioned in the report, are responsible for these incidents. There is the clearly negligence.
What, according to you, went wrong? Yes, the inquiries will take place. Now, there is also talk of a CBI inquiry. Yes, those reports will be submitted. The question is, why does nothing ever change? As I keep saying, there have been multiple train accidents in this country in the past. Why does nothing ever change?
Well, first of all, condolences to the people who have died. And I would say this is not an accident. This is plain and simple sabotage. Someone wanted this train, Coromandel Express, to hit the Bengaluru-Howrah Express. Now you find that person, these things need to be investigated not by the CBI, it needs to be investigated by the NIA.
You're actually
This is
calling
pretty
this
serious.
a potential case of terrorism. Why are you
Yes.
so convinced, Mr. Garodia, that this is a case of sabotage?
Switching systems do not change automatically. If someone has given a signal for the train to switch from the main line to the loop line, that doesn't happen by accident. Someone has done this. And it was supposed to time in such a way that 2 trains would collide. Here, the different thing has happened is the timing was a little bit off, or you would have seen maybe more than 1,000 dead. Okay, this is plain and simple act of terrorism, if you ask me. Okay, let the reports come in. Okay, I'm just a layman, so I would not be saying anything till I see the reports. But if you ask me as a person, what is my personal opinion? I would say this is nothing but terrorism.
But on
This
what basis
is
are you
one
saying that,
train.
sir? You are saying I'm a layperson. You are a member of the accident committee with the Central Railways.
I
What
was
you're
the member
making,
of the
sir,
accident.
what you're making,
Listen,
sir, is
I,
a very serious claim. So I want
yes,
you to tell our viewers what you are basing this claim on. You're calling it a case of terrorism. Why?
yes, because when a train is signaled to go from the main line to the loop line, when a signal is not supposed to be passed out there, okay, means no one had to press the switch. If someone had to press the switch and if they press the wrong switch, I could understand. But when you don't have to press a switch, then why did someone press the switch? Okay,
Okay.
now three trains are colliding amongst themselves. Actually, the Bengaluru-Howrah train was supposed to bang into this train. That is what I see it. Okay, I see that the fatalities are less than what would have been the fatalities. This area is very near the Naxal area, and I don't know who was in charge of the signaling system out there, but this needs to be investigated by the NIA.
What is going on here according to you, sir? What went wrong?
Well, it is a systematic failure. See, um, over the years, railway continues to be under-invested, and whatever allocation has been made is not fully spent, fully incurred. And at the same time, there is acute shortages of staff, manpower. Recruitment was not being done as it should have been. There are nearly or approximately 4 lakh vacancies. Of them, more than 2 lakh is in the frontline staff, who are responsible for safety. See, inspection and monitoring of tracks has lessened to the negligible level. So, it is a case of total negligence, and never before any minister or the railway board officials pinpointed any suspicion or blame. For the first time, the case is public attention is being diverted to sabotage or untoward incident, which does not appear to be prima facie a case, simply because the accident happened in the proximity of Naxal areas. Does not mean that it is a case of sabotage. It is a case of railways failure, failure of signaling failure. It is a case of railway ministry's failure. It is a case of minister's failure. Minister till recently was tom-tomming the efficacy and 100% technological proof or accident proof anti-collision device, which was indigenously developed earlier by Konkan Railway, and they have renamed in their typical manner of renaming every device into their own format, Hindi format. So, it is now known as Kavach, and they are making out a case that Kavach was not available in that zone. Who will believe? Because that is high density route. Among the connecting all the 4 metros and 12 major ports. So, who will believe that this system is not available? This is satellite operated. A minister was tom-tomming this efficacy till recently. He should be held responsible, and all efforts are sought to be made out to save him or the government for that matter. They are publicity hungry. They are all efforts are publicity oriented, headline management, media management. There is nothing on ground to say the least. Referring to CBI is an unprecedented case, because CBI is essentially police outfit. It is under the government control. Government investigating itself, how can it give, who will believe CBI, because it is essentially a police outfit, and police is enjoy the lowest public credibility, confidence, because it had lost neutrality, fairness in its investigation, in its onerous duty to ensure law and order. So, referring to CBI means saving itself, nothing else. The government has abrogated the power of Commissioner of Railway Safety. And they are also captive. So they cannot also, or they used to earlier criticize government, railway and all that. So unless there is a judicial, independent judicial inquiry, I mean, people will not come to the truth. They are preemptive and prejudicing inquiry. The government has already pinpointed certain blame which should not have been done in the scheme of the Constitution of India. It should be left to the Commission of Inquiry and let the people wait for what actually happened. And this has not happened. The government has, and they are apportioning blame. And indication to that is very much obvious that it is a case of sabotage.
Mr. Mangal, we have two completely divergent views on this show. You have Ketan Garodia saying he's convinced that this is nothing short of sabotage, a case of terrorism. The area happens to be close to Naxal-infested regions. However, you have Sameer Zaveri and Mr. M.Y. Siddiqui, who's just now spoken in very, very strong terms, saying the theory of sabotage is nothing but a diversion, a CBI probe is nothing but a distraction. You need an independent judicial probe to establish the truth, because hundreds of people have lost their lives. This is a very serious matter. Accountability needs to be fixed, and right now it seems nobody is serious about fixing accountability. This is nothing but criminal negligence on part of the Railway Ministry, says Mr. Siddiqui. What are your views on what went so horribly wrong on Friday evening in Odisha? Sir, could you please unmute yourself?
Huh.
Go ahead, Mr.
Good
Mangal.
afternoon. Good evening. In fact, what I was telling was the minister has given the statement from the site, as well as member from railway board has explained in detail about the accident. So the accident cause has been established to some extent, although inquiry is going on by an independent authority, which is Commissioner of Railway Safety, and they will give their preliminary report shortly, and they will also name the people who are culprit for this particular accident. So I think as far as sabotage and other thing is concerned, I think whatever decision railway board and minister has taken, they must have seen the status, the consequential things at site, and based on that, they must have come to know that there could be more than the human angle into this. That is why I think they have recommended CBI probe.